What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and a debris field has been found in the area where this Titanic sub went missing. And I see right away everyone is writing this off as the end of this story. Oh, the sub must have imploded and the debris are just pieces of the sub. And yeah, that's very possible, ladies and gentlemen. But we have to remember one thing, and for the life of me, I don't understand why the media isn't talking about this. We have a sunken ship at the bottom of the ocean, right where this sub went missing. There's debris fields around the Titanic from pieces of the Titanic. So when I hear that they located a debris field right by the Titanic, I'm just like, yeah, duh. Obviously, there's debris around the Titanic. There's pieces of the ship and stuff all around the Titanic. So I'm not so sure if this is the groundbreaking news that everyone is making it to be, as if, oh, cut and dry, end of the story, it imploded, there's the pieces, it's over, this is the end of the story. I'm not convinced. Now, it's a very likely scenario. I'm not here to tell you any different, but we do have to keep in mind that this sub went missing literally near the wreckage of a ship. Therefore, they're going to pick up all types of things down there. And yeah, it may look like debris from this missing sub, but it very well could just be pieces of the Titanic. Maybe even other debris that was left behind during other missions to the Titanic. So, I mean, I'm holding out hope that they're actually able to find this sub, but we know that the oxygen has already run out. The oxygen ran out around 7 a.m. this morning, Eastern Standard Time, as far as I know. But some experts are claiming, as well as people who have worked alongside OceanGate and people who have worked alongside some of the people that are in the missing sub, they claim that there's still hope that these people could be alive, that there's still a way that they could have conserved oxygen. And, you know, that's a bit of a stretch. I think that's a little far-fetched. But who am I to say any different? I'm just some dude talking to you all that's sitting next to a popcorn machine. I can't tell you for sure these people are dead. And if the experts say that there's a chance that there's still oxygen on board, then hey, who am I to tell you any differently? I think that people are trying to be as optimistic as possible. But at the same time, I guess anything is possible, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I don't necessarily believe that these individuals are still alive. But at the same time, I'm not buying that this debris field is from this sub when we know that there's tons of other things down there at the bottom of the ocean, especially right near the wreckage of the Titanic. But I want you all to watch this news clip real quick to get a better understanding of what is happening here. I find it just absolutely tragic that all of the best equipment that was really needed to find the sub, all of it is arriving after the oxygen ran out. You know, I think it's weird that a celebrity that lives in California can have a New York pizza delivered to them the same day. Meanwhile, we have a situation like this, and this equipment is just all conveniently arriving right as the oxygen is running out of the sub. I feel as if maybe it could have been there a couple of days beforehand. I mean, we had a good time frame here. You know, we had 96 hours, and unfortunately, it seems like it took 97 hours for the real equipment to arrive on scene. But that's a conversation for another day. And, you know, I know everyone out there is doing their best to try to find these people. But we're going to go ahead and watch this news clip. Before you do, hit that thumbs up button. If you enjoy these videos are free, and it's totally free to hit the like button, and it helps this channel more than you know. So hit that like button. Let's watch this news clip, and then I'll be back with more, because I do have some information on what may have gone wrong with this sub.
Go to Miguel Marquez, who is on the scene in Canada, to tell us what the latest is. Miguel.
Yeah, so the Coast Guard saying that they have found a debris field in the area that they were searching. This is obviously raises a lot of interest for what that debris field may be. It is important to note they have not laid eyes on whatever they are talking about, so it is unclear what it is. There has been a lot of discussion among people who are in contact with folks that something has been found, and this may be what they are talking about. It is the first time that we have had in several days, other than this sense of the news of that banging or noise that was coming, that there was somebody down there, that there was something definitive to say about what has happened to the Titan and where it is and how its 5 passengers are. But look, the debris field could be as simple as something that the Titan or other submersibles that have gone down there have dropped previously. It could be the Titan itself, and it may lead to the rescue efforts that's going on now to even step up pace even more. There is that sense that the window is closing because of the oxygen levels on that craft, and the gear finally getting into shape. They do have remote operated vehicles that are now able to get to depth down to the bottom, that they can physically lay eyes on things. So hopefully we will have more information very soon. The Coast Guard typically does their press conferences around 1 p.m. Eastern time. They've pushed that back a little later today, so that may indicate that they're trying to gather information and trying to understand exactly what is happening down there and what they have found. And by that time, hopefully, maybe they will have laid eyes on something, and we will have a much clearer picture of what's happening 2.5 miles beneath the surface of the ocean.
And Miguel, I just want to read for our viewers what the Coast Guard put out on Twitter. They said a debris field was discovered within the search area by a ROV near the Titanic. Experts within the Unified Command are evaluating the information. So just so we are clear on exactly what they know and what they don't know. And as you are making it pretty clear to our viewers, there are still lots of questions to be answered about what they believe that they saw. But just to kind of give our viewers a sense of where they are right now, Miguel, 96 hours of oxygen, that's how much they had. And we're talking about a 2-hour descent on Sunday morning, June 18th. It is now Thursday. We've all been doing the math and watching to see what we could potentially learn. So give our viewers a sense of the stakes at this hour on this day, Thursday, when they went down on Sunday.
So they've clearly eclipsed that time. From Sunday to Thursday, that's 96 hours. We're just over that mark now. Mm-hmm. But people who have been on that craft, people who know Ocean Gate and Rush Stockton and P.H. Nargeolet, more importantly, who is on that craft as well, extremely able oceanographer, very, very capable deep ocean diver, knows exactly what to do in these situations. Their belief is that from moment one, if they got into a catastrophic situation and they were still alive, from moment on, they would have known preserving oxygen was the most important thing they could do, because they may have to be down there for several days. It is the conditions would be horrendous: pitch black, freezing cold, and dwindling oxygen. All three of those things make for sort of a nightmare scenario. But if they were able to stay calm, sleep, use as little oxygen as possible, continue to use the carbon dioxide scrubber, which according to people who have been on that before, they all learn how to use, that they might be able to survive beyond that 96 hours. So, but the window is closing, and you can tell searchers can sense that, can feel that. The amount of gear that's come in here to St. John's that's moved out of here in the last couple of days, and now that they're getting to the sea floor and actually trying to see, get their eyes on what is down there, and then once they find it, getting it from there to the surface is going to be a Herculean task as well. So all these pieces have to come together, and it looks like we maybe will have more information shortly.
Okay.
Anna?
Miguel, thank you so much for that. Stand by. Let us know if you hear anything, of course.
So as you heard right there, at least at the time of this recording, they don't have eyes on this debris yet, So they haven't really seen it. They know it's there, but they don't know what it is. And I find it kind of weird that the news didn't mention that this debris field is right next to the Titanic. And there's all types of debris fields right next to the Titanic. In fact, I learned about some of these debris fields in the process of covering the story. So there's a lot of things down there that, equipment may pick up on, and you just don't know. Is it pieces of the sub? Pieces of something else? It could be anything. In many ways, maybe if they do find pieces of this sub and it turns out this sub just imploded, maybe that's the best case scenario. It's the quickest way to go. Maybe that would be better than, suffering and sitting inside that little sub slowly dying for days on end. But we have learned a little bit more about what may have gone wrong with this sub as it was descending into the ocean. And I want to play for you all another quick clip. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But it appears, or at least what is being said, this is what is being said. I can't 100% confirm it yet, but that's how a lot of this information is. We get it early, and then it gets confirmed 7 hours later in the press conferences. From what is being said, this sub was descending too quickly down to the Titanic. And that maybe it was too heavy, and that they would probably have had to drop parts in order to slow down their descent. Now, when looking at this sub, I know that they have like certain pipes, sandbags, and random things that they can drop off of this sub that helps them slow the sub down. So now I'm wondering, this debris field, is it possibly just parts that they purposely dropped off the sub in order to slow the sub down because it was descending too quickly? I mean, who knows? But let's go ahead and watch this clip, and then I'll be right back to close out this video.
One of my sources has reported that about the time that they lost comms, or just before they lost comms, that they reported they were trying to release ballast. What that means to me is they were heavy. They were descending faster than they were supposed to. So they were trying to get rid of weight. That's ballast. They were trying to get rid of weight. What could have caused that? Again, maybe there was a computer glitch and their thrusters got stuck in down and they were driving themselves down faster than they needed to and couldn't fix that. Or they suffered an incursion into the hull, so we had water coming in. That may have shorted out the electronics.
Now, if his sources are correct and what this guy is saying is true, then this is the first hint that we've gotten, the first tidbit of information that we've gotten that points towards what may have gone wrong on this journey to the Titanic. You know, I believe that this could have played a major factor into why this sub went missing. And I find it kind of weird that we're not getting this information until now. But then again, you know, the folks over at Ocean Gate, they didn't report that this sub was missing until like 8 hours later. So it seems like there were some hours there in which they could have reported that something was going wrong, but they chose not to, probably because of the CEO who cuts a lot of safety corners. He made a lot of interesting decisions, which led to him being in this situation right now. And I can't help but wonder if he warned some of his employees that, hey, if we take a little longer than usual, don't panic, don't send out the warning, don't send out any distress signals, because we don't want any bad PR. I think that the CEO of OceanGate, look, I don't really want to go there, but I feel like he's kind of responsible for everything that's happened here. And there's just so many video clips, so many warnings that I've seen. There's just so much stuff out there that points towards the fact that this dude ignored every warning that he got. He bought cheap equipment and thought that he was going to be able to do something that was basically impossible. So I can't help but wonder if maybe this distress signal, they contacted people about the sub missing a little later than they should have, because the boss probably threatens their jobs. We know that someone was fired for basically raising concerns about the window that's on board this sub, because it's not supposed to go down that deep. This window, the sole window on this sub, it's only supposed to go in 1,300 feet of water. Meanwhile, they're down about 3,800 or 1,300 meters. Meanwhile, they're down 3,800 meters in the ocean. So, I mean, there's just so many factors here. It would take all day for me to list them. At the end of the day, as far as this debris field goes, yeah, it could belong to the sub. Maybe this is the ending of the story, but I'm not convinced yet. Let me know your thoughts, though, down in the comments. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I will talk to you all in the next video.